I've been asked how I made up the little high start for flying the Micro Gentle Lady. So there it is. So what I'm going to do is just very quickly go through how it's made up. So first of all, I'm just going to unravel it. The best place to start really is from the stake end. Alright, so you're going to need a stake. So this is mine. You can use one of those massive nails, tent peg, something like that. There's not a lot of tension on this high start, so something like even a tent peg should be fine. And at the stake end you want some sort of ring. So in this case this is just a ring from a key ring. Okay, I bought a whole pack of them, so they're quite handy. And just tie one end of the rubber to that ring. Okay, I just used a simple knot, nothing fancy. And what you want to make sure is that the ring actually fits the nail or stake or tent peg that you're using. Okay, it's a good idea that it can't be pulled from the end, as in the case of this one, and of course then that just pushes into the ground. Okay, so that's that end. So now we come to the joining part of the length of rubber to the length of string or fishing line. So what I've done here is just use some heat shrink tubing so that the fishing line doesn't just simply cut through the rubber, so it just protects that. So basically there is just a little loop knot in the end of the rubber. Put the fishing line through again just to create that loop. Okay, and there I've just got a little bit of heat shrink because there's a little bit of the fishing line dangling, so I just put a bit of heat shrink over that just to keep that tidy. Alright, so that's that arrangement. So you can see it's quite simple. You can use tape or something else. The main thing is that you do something to avoid the line cutting through the rubber. Okay, and now for the end that actually goes onto the hook on your glider. So at the other end of the fishing line or string, whichever you use, I didn't use a ring or anything because again there's hardly any tension in this, so I just created a loop with the fishing line with a good knot, and at the end just a little bit of ribbon of some sort just tied in as well. Doesn't have to be anything too big. Serves two purposes. It makes it easier to see where the end of the line is when it comes back down to the ground, but it also just assists the line coming off the hook of the little glider. Alright, so that's just basically it. That's all there is to it. Now when it comes to what you put it on for winding, I just a bit of board, that is, and always wind it back on from the tow hook end, because what that means is that when you come to set it up you peg it first from the rubber end. Okay, so I'm just going to wind this back on and I'll show you that. So there it is, the high start back onto its winding board. So the reason that you want it so that you start unwinding from the rubber end with the ring is so that basically you can stake it. So imagine that's the field, you stake it into the ground and then it's fixed, and then it just makes it easier to unwind, and in fact it makes it nice and easy to wind it back on as well. So that's the way to do it. So let's just put that back on. There you go. So that's ready for me next time. I will be making up longer ones of these because this was only 20 meters. I would say go for at least 30. 30 is probably about right, because they're tiny gliders. If you get the launch right, they will go up to in the region of 100 feet. So it's probably going to be pretty much a spec at that height, isn't it?